Fight presents.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
You're watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and she is the host and producer of In Cat We Trust. She's also one of the writers and hosts for Women's Wrestling Talk. Please welcome Katrina Blake.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey. And she is the senior writer and host of Women's Wrestling Talk. Please welcome Nickie Booshie.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, and today we have an amazing show. Of course, nothing but amazing guests, and today is no exception. Y'all have been trying to get this beautiful woman on the show for a minute, and we finally made it happen. Please welcome the Jessica Rabbit of wrestling. Please welcome Renee Michelle.
Hi, you guys. Thank you for having me.
Hey. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Working out, sore, as always, what we just talked about earlier. Later, I'll probably work on the front yard, raking all these old mulch up and everything.
More power to you. When I got my house, I was like, they're like, "Are you gonna take care of the garden?" I was like, "No, I will not be. You can continue having whoever's doing it. Continue.
It's a lot of work. I can't fathom. I think I killed about 2 hinges in my front yard. So
not at all. Nickie,
How am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm so busy. I just it's a whirlwind. We're still in Women's History Month. And we're on the road to so many different things in women's wrestling. So yeah, I'm here and present.
Hey, Katrina.
I'm tired. It's been a crazy day for me, unfortunately. But like Nickie said, I'm still here and still pushing. So
all right. Still pushing. You've been in the game, Renee, for 9 years.
yes.
You hitting that decade mark, and it's so crazy because I've been in the broadcasting game for that too. And then you just think in a blink of an eye, it's like, oh shoot, it's been a minute. So what has changed from when you started from that point to now?
Oh gosh, a lot have changed. Starting out, I feel like every 19 years, the business do change, because back in the day, before I even came around, it was a lot of female managers, and now there's not too many female managers there's now more of tag team women than before. There wasn't that many of tag team women, and before there weren't many opportunities for women, and now there's many opportunities for women. And granted, even on the biggest stage, there's that small window of opportunities for women. It's kind of you kind of play claw, tooth and nail just to try to get a spot on TV, just to be able to have that 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes of being on TV, compared to men on the roster. They majority of it, I guess 90, 95 of it is men.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely came a long way.
Nickie?
So you've been everywhere when it comes to wrestling. Name 3 opponents you haven't faced that you would like to.
Oh, 3?
Yeah, I want 3.
Oh, you want 3? Okay. So I wouldn't mind ever wrestling my first female trainer, which is Chigusa Nagio. Back in the day, her and Lioness Asuka were tag team partners known as the Crush Girls, and Chigusa, she was the owner and founder of Gaia, which is now called Marvelous. I definitely look up to her, so I would love to be able to, be in the ring and wrestle her. But obviously that's I'm not trying to do no explosion matches, so I highly doubt, that's out the window. I definitely wouldn't mind being in the ring with Asuka. like, because I think she either got trained by Lioness Oscar or got inspired by Lioness Oscar. So there's like a little bit of a history between the two, with that. And since my trainer was Chigusa Nagio, and then that's her. Like, I already wrestled Mickie, I already wrestled Melina. Gosh, I wouldn't mind getting in the ring with Natty. She is an OG in the ring, so I wouldn't mind learning from OG herself. And then, is it weird that I wouldn't mind getting in the ring with Foxy, as crazy as she is?
Ooh.
So I would definitely love, to be in the ring with Foxy. Like, I can't really think of like just three. There's so many girls I want to be able to get in the ring with, like, yeah. Like, oh, my top one for now, right now, is besides Chigusa, Natty, and Foxy, is Serena Deeb's. What better way to learn from the professor herself?
That part.
So you're a free agent and you worked for so many different companies and promotions. So what is something you learned the most from doing that and being in free agency?
I learned how to become adaptable, like, especially like when you're dealing with different trainers. Everyone in different promotion, everyone have their own unique style. Everyone have their own teaching and learning format. So you definitely want to learn how to become coachable, adaptable, not be a know-it-all, because you're learning something new every day, and more so be open-minded. But I love that as a challenge for me. But because of me, if I have to wrestle someone from Mexico who only speaks Spanish, I could be able to deliver lucha. If I had to wrestle someone who only speaks Japanese, thank God I took Japanese in college, I'm able to deal with that. If someone like from the UK is more into their technical style, or even like, I think like the South here in the US, they're more into that, or character work, I'm able to deliver that. So it really depends on the crowd, let alone the individual who I'm working with. But that's what I love about being so adaptable, instead of just being stuck to one particular thing.
So let's run it back, because you just kind of skirted over that. You took Japanese in college?
Yes, I did.
So you fluent now? Like, we can just drop you in Japan right now and you be good?
I mean, like, kanji is hard for me. So kanji I always struggle with, but hiragana, katakana, I got you.
Okay, I love it.
All right then.
Yeah.
I love it. It seems like a hard. I'm still struggling with Spanish, so kudos to you on that. I
Yeah.
love
Well, the thing is, like, with Spanish and Japanese, they're very similar. Like the writing format, like here in the US, we have, they go by vowels. So, and how the way, like, what's the word for it? I forgot. I'm having a moment. But it's like
here in the States, we have subject verb agreement.
Yes. But in Spanish, they have it the other way, just the same way as Japanese. It's the same.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, I'm having a moment. I know what it is.
And I kudos to you. Now you did mention kind of you've been with different promotions. It's been a minute when you were doing the whole thing with your husband for 24/7.
Yes.
Did you get any like feedback, like from any of the promotions that you were with? Like, did you get any feedback from them as far as like, oh, like you're on the right track, keep doing this, or what was that kind of experience like? As far as did you get to talk to anybody who is in that position to hire you?
No. So actually, a lot of the people on the roster thought I was signed, but I wasn't.
You have to look like it. I could see you fitting in. That's why it's kind of like.
Well, a lot, like Natty and a few of the girls, or even a few of the guys, thought I was signed because I was doing a whole storyline and everything else, and they keep bringing me back, but that wasn't even the case. I'm just getting paid, and how the way I see it, this is more opportunity for me. This is more TV time for me. I'm able to learn from the producers and the cameramen and everything else from there. And well, it's kind of unique, but it's like for an unsigned talent, I was able to open up Monday Night Raw alongside with my husband. So I don't know anyone who ever done that before.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, learning from like Carmela and R-Truth and a bunch of the guys. I had a lot of fun.
It looked fun. And what about AEW? Your experience there? Did they give you any feedback from your experience there?
As far as I know, it's like because there's a lot of people there, so everyone's, you know, very unique in their own way. You know, they always tell me good things, you know, but it really all depends on what they're looking for. Like, granted, I may look the part, as many people would say, "Oh, you should have been signed a long time ago," but it's not my choice. It's what they're looking for during the time. You know, it's the right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they're not looking for a sexy character. Maybe they're looking for someone younger. Maybe they're looking for someone older. Maybe they're looking for someone that's more on the innocent side. Maybe they're might be looking for someone more on the sexier side.
That definitely makes sense. Well, through your journey, I mean, you faced Amber Rodriguez, Mickie James, Melina, and you talked about this earlier briefly. But I want to know, through any promotion, wherever you've been, whether it's MCW or whether, you know, no matter what, who's been your toughest opponent thus far?
Mm-hmm.
My toughest opponent so far. Mm-hmm. Oof. Honestly, my toughest opponent? Gosh, that's a good question. I would say Melina. She brings it out of me. You know, like we look like we're legit killing each other. So I remember wrestling Melina when I was in MCW and then over in Barbados. So in Barbados, they haven't had a show since 1989. So it was so many years. So when Melina, I think it was like 3 years ago that we wrestled in Barbados. You know, like for a short woman, she has a lot of power. I give her that. She has like a lot of Latin fire, but we both love it. You know, we both love each other outside the ring. We both love each other inside the ring. She brings it out of me. I bring it out of her. And, you know, I love Melina.
So since you mentioned like Melina being your toughest opponent, and you worked with both her and Mickie James, which are like both legends in their own right, what was that experience like for you working with both of them? You know, being in the ring with them.
I love it because they make you feel very welcome, you know, and you know they love to hear like your different ideas and try to put a story all together and you know make it exciting. Mickie, she is a fireball, you know, but you know I would say like the time that I wrestled her, it was definitely like you know she makes you up your game, and you know there's more like on the comedy side that the times that her and I have wrestled in the ring. With Melina, it's more like sometimes our extensions almost be pulled out of our heads with each other. But at you know when we're back, we're like, "I love you, bitch. I love you too." You know, like you know.
And then like you know, I did some social media digging through your Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. You got a lot going on. So how do you balance your life, like, you know, wrestling? Like, do you watch a lot of wrestling to kind of keep up to date? Your fitness, like, you know, married life. Like, do you guys talk about wrestling, or do you kind of leave that off
I'm
limits?
married
Like,
to my husband. All he is nothing but eat, sleep, everything wrestling. Okay, by the time I wake up, it's wrestling on TV. If I'm listening to the news, I'm hearing wrestling upstairs. Even
oh
if
my
I go
goodness.
upstairs, you know, that man is watching wrestling. So I'm around it all the time. Even when I go to bed, he brings the laptop into the bed and wrestling's on. I cannot get away from it.
Listen, shout out to that man. I don't mean to fangirl right now, but shout out to that man. That man is a legend. I'm glad he's keeping you in the know as he should.
I mean, the laptop to the bed, though. I mean,
I'm
That's
serious.
like,
That man does not play. That man eats, sleep, and breathe wrestling. You know, like I can't even have a break, like a breather. Like even when he goes to the gym and on his phone and with the earpods on, I'll be walking past. It's wrestling. If it's not wrestling, it's a podcast, a wrestling podcast.
oh goodness. Well,
So I'm
all right.
surrounded by it, and you know, thank God for him. And I wouldn't say like wrestling kind of like being around him, he definitely opened my eyes to like a lot of things. I guess what he called it, I got clued up too soon in the world of wrestling.
So yeah,
So,
kudos to him for sure.
thanks.
To the bed though, that one, I'll be like,
Man, like even when I'm sleeping, I'm waking up in the middle of the night wrestling. Like,
Listen, we love it. I mean, you both have been very impactful to wrestling all over. So I have to ask, what was it like, and what are some of your biggest takeaways with working in NWA Empower?
oh wow.
it's a great
Being
event.
able to like meet like all the other legends like such as Gail Kill. Actually, I do want to get in the ring with Gail Kill. Too bad that she like retired. I'm hoping the grace of God that she come unretired. You know, I always have this saying like you never truly retire when it comes to wrestling.
That part.
You're always gonna have the itch. But like meeting like seeing Mickie reuniting with her again, meeting Gail. Absolutely love her husband. Like don't drink with him. But yeah, it was definitely a breath of fresh air. I'm glad that it was like an all women's show, and like I was able to meet all different women from all over the place that I never even met, or they have met me from down the line, and they remember me when I was starting out, when I used to do like the whole Native American gimmick, to like now I'm like a sex kitten. But it was really nice. It was really nice, like catching up with all the girls and then seeing Auntie Jazz again. I love me some Jazz, even though her and I wrestled before and she looked like she was my auntie beating my ass in the ring. So at Impact. So I still have flashbacks on that.
So take just like one step away from wrestling. I know like a few years ago you mentioned that you would collect shot glasses when you were going to different states and different countries. So how many shot glasses do you have now in
Too
like
many.
2020?
A whole rack already filled up. And so I broke my Canada one, so I got to go back to Canada and get another one.
Oh,
I
that's yeah.
accidentally dropped it in the blender, and I didn't realize it was in there. So of course, when you're doing dishes and you turn the blender on, I'm like, oh God. I was really sad about that. I wasn't too much sad about the Tinkerbell shot, but I was more so sad about the Canada shot.
Oh gosh. So your reign. What was your kind of with going to your MCW days? What was the favorite part about your reign there?
Oh gosh. Well, from I guess being the first NCW Women's Champion there, so that's history within itself. I guess back in the days, it used to be known as Bone Breakers. From what Dan McDevitt told me, is where like originally where Mickie James and Lita came from. And I remember meeting Lita. She was kind of a bit of my mentor earlier in my stages of wrestling. Like and she was also like my referee one time. So I always love like listening to her stories, taking her advice. She's so cool and so rad. And obviously starting out, I was like, I want to do a moonsault just exactly like her.
Mm.
So I was very fortunate during that time, when I did got founded by Gilbert in the very beginning of my career. The school didn't last too long. It only lasted for 3 months. So what can I really learn within, over at Gilbert's within 3 months, but when MCW opened up and I met Dan McDevitt, he took me underneath his wing. He's nothing more like a wrestling dad to me. And I was able to meet like Mickie and Lita and, and learn so much from them. And I'm still learning as of today. Even though I'm 9 years in, I never stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta ask. Last year you did a recent interview with WrestleZone, and you briefly talked about your time in Japan. And I think that's so important, honestly, to know your study in college and even using that when you wrestled in Japan. So just briefly tell us, what did you love the most about being over there, and what were some of the biggest things that you miss being over there now?
So when I took Japanese when I was in college, I wasn't in wrestling at the time. I didn't grow up on wrestling. I didn't even watch wrestling. So I never thought in a million years that I ever had to utilize it. I just blatantly wanted to challenge myself because, when you're in school and college, you either learn French or Spanish, or I'm like, I saw Japanese. I'm like, you know what? I could either take Chinese or Japanese. And I actually wanted to challenge myself. I'm like, I always wanted to go to Japan when I was a little girl. So maybe if I take it, and who knows if I wanted to become a teacher over there, and help with like English, I'll do it. But that was like my only reason. I just basically wanted to challenge myself. It just so happened throughout the years I stumbled into wrestling and then had an opportunity to go to Japan, and be out there for like back and forth like for like a year. But I love it. I love the culture. I love the respect. They're very good on like respecting and respecting others. The food, and Chigusa, like how the way she trains the girl is that you have to reach a certain weight in order to wrestle. And they start at a very young age too. So if you do not reach a particular weight, you won't be able to debut. The reason for the weight is because to protect your body. You don't want to be like a teeny little thing and then God forbid like you pop a hip or something. You need some weight on you to help protect you. And like the wrestling ring is really nice. It's not like kind of like over here it's like you're messing your body up. Granted, you can mess your body up over there too, but the rings over there is built for wrestlers compared to like the rings really so much here. But yeah, it's just the kayfabe. They still keep that very strong. The respect, the wrestling, the culture, the it's like when you wrestling over there is considered as a job compared to so much here in the US, and a lot of the girls they'll like finish school or drop out of school and then they come here, come to the dojo and train there. They're not allowed to see their family until they debut. So that could take about 6 to 9 months to a year. They could talk to them on the phone, but you have to be 100% committed to your job, and then until you debut, then that's the day that your parents will show up at the show and see you perform, but it's like you're becoming like a new being within yourself and like welcome to adulthood type of thing. But we definitely keep it kayfabe from the young girls until the week before they debut, and then they realize like, oh wait, it's a work. Like so all that hard training, they're dedicating very strongly to it. And like, you're not allowed to have boyfriends, men are prohibited. You have a curfew. You have to wake up at a particular time. When you come in, you wear like a uniform because you're representing that company, you know, just as if you were working at any other type of, top end company here in the US, you have to like act accordingly with them. It's like a whole team, When you're in the ring, you're the individual that you're wrestling. But when you come there to the place, you help build the ring, you help take it down. You come in with a jumpsuit representing the company. You're not just like
By yourself.
Yeah. You represent that company. You have to keep a good face, because that looks good. Not only to the company but also to your mentor.
Well, before we move on, I just want to thank you for sharing that. I've seen a lot of platforms and interviews where you've opened up about it, but there's not a lot of intensiveness in it. And I've always wanted, like, I was just like, I want to know, like, what she was doing over there.
Well, okay. So I did have the opportunity to go to Stardom, and I turned it down. And I decided to go with Marvelous, solely because it's nothing against Stardom. It's really not. Like, granted, Stardom is very popular, but I wanted to learn the old Joshi lifestyle. I wanted to learn the old school way, and what better way to learn it from Chigusa Nagio, who has been in the business for so long, and let alone on top of that, it's just the history of this woman. I feel like not too many people know that, or they forgot about that, but granted, yes, Stardom is very popular, and I kind of feel like it's more Americanized, but I wanted to learn the whole militant, like if you watch the document of Gaia or Gaia Girls on YouTube, you understand why. It's exactly like that when I started out. Yeah, it lightened up, because I had to like explain, like, look, like some American girls are not used to this strict mentality. Unless you grew up
Mm-hmm.
like in a military home, you'll understand it. But some girls can handle it and some girls can't. And it's like, it's not, I think it's like the isolation and the loneliness. Now Marvelous is in Funabashi, which is more in the city. But when I started out, it was in Chiba in the middle of nowhere in the countryside, barely any Wi-Fi. So, so like when I started out, it was very different. And then when I got like Nyla Rose over there and Sahara 7 and all the other girls, I had to like explain it to like the Japanese, like, hey, it's kind of a little bit too much for them, like granted, like it might be a little bit too much for them, just kind of like understand there's a whole foreign country within themselves. They may feel lonely or whatever the case may be, so they understood it. They were, I guess, like when they having issues or problems with foreigners, they call me, and then I have to like talk to them, and then I'm like, look, you're coming over there to learn from them, not the other way around. You have to abide by their rules, their culture, their this, that, and the third. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. It doesn't matter how old you are. Marvelous is treated like a family. There's no like, oh, I'm higher than you and this, that, and the third. Like, you have one senpai. Yeah, granted, there's kohai. There's the kohai and then there's carrier. But really, mama, I call her Pama, mama, papa. She's, she wants the students to be like a sisterhood. So it's like you got to get used to like eat together, sleep together, maybe even shower and bathe together. Get used to it all.
You said you considered Lita like a mentor. So, what was some advice she passed on to you?
So when I was starting out, like I guess like she may have like heard something about me, but she didn't understand it. But I guess like from what like Dan McDev told me, like when she saw me, she's like, oh, I see why she is given a hard time. you know. So it's like, like when you come in, like, you're kind of like cute little thing or whatever. And then like it kind of rubs like maybe some girls the wrong way because they're like, I've been in the business forever, or who does she think she is? And this, that, and the third. And of course, here's me. Like I could be the most judgmental person ever, but I just wasn't brought up to be such a way. So I like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. There's some people may not be that way. And, Lita told me, like, do not, whatever you do not let the business change you. Do not let people around you who are very bitter or who may have the green eye monster change you. Still be yourself and never change, no matter, because what goes up always comes back down. And she said, and that's why you are in the position where you are today, and others are still stuck in their same positions.
It's absolutely crazy. So we're in 2022. The pandemic is, I don't know, wherever it is right now. You've done a lot this year so far. What's the game plan for 2022 for the rest of the year?
For the rest of the year, I'll finish up this house. I think hopefully, like honestly, like if I get signed, that's great. If I don't get signed, I'm fine with that too. As long as you're making money. I think with this business, what a lot of people do, this business to make money. And there's some people, they kind of like want to blow their money or whatever. It's great. It's good to have like a second job than only just putting all your eggs in a basket with this business, because this business does not owe you anything. Nobody doesn't owe you anything. But what you can do is just take the money that you invest into this business and make it more. You can invest like the money that you make and make like more merchandising, or put it into like your schooling or whatever extra stuff that you want to learn. But it's also good to have like something to fall back on too, because God forbid if you ever get hurt, then what?
Right. Well, I hope you get signed because I can definitely see you at any one of the promotions. But I see you stay working. I see you staying in the gym. So we'll
Girl,
definitely hope that for you.
I'm up around at 4:30 in the morning. I don't sleep. I
Ugh.
am tired.
Listen, well, maybe those nights where you're in the bed with Rockstar Spud, maybe you can convince him and y'all to come to Impact. I don't know. I would love to because I've been going to the Impact Live shows lately. I would love to see you guys just make a surprise and
I
maybe
was wondering where you're going with that
maybe
because you're
face the
like,
personas. I don't know. Like I would love
Every,
that.
everybody loves my husband. Like, man, like how we were acting with the 24/7, it's no different than at home. It's really not. That is us. It's really not. It's like he makes me laugh, and humor goes a long way. I could be old, gray, and looking like a silver fox, and then he can still
mm-hmm.
be silver hair and acting up and everything else. And it's just humor. Humor makes me laugh. That's what migrated me to him.
I was wondering where you're going with that question because you're like, I could see you and then your husband in the bed. I was like, wait, what? Where are we going with this? So,
Listen, she
I
was talking about how they be in the bed watching wrestling. TK.
I was like,
I
what
just
are
want to
we
see them
talking about?
pop up. That's all. That's it.
he
I do
he's
too.
he's too damn goofy for my own good. He is crazy. Like I have a crazy husband, but it's a crazy in a good way. And the crazy in the most simple way. Sometimes I call him simple, but you know what? He's my little simpleton.
There it is. He your husband. There it is. And that's love for sure.
Yes.
We're gonna get into some rapid hot tags. Are you ready?
Uh-oh.
You're gonna be
Yes.
fine. You'll be safe.
I feel
So
nervous.
rapid
I feel nervous.
you'll be good. So rapid hot tags is I ask you a question, you say the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Okay.
Uh
Okay.
okay. So who is your favorite artist of all time?
Like actor or music?
Music.
Oh. Oh, snap. Lil Kim.
Lil Kim. Okay.
Mm.
Favorite body part to work on.
Huh?
Favorite body part to work on.
My butt.
Favorite show to binge watch.
Bridgerton.
Oh, that's yes. Your house
The
containing
Duke.
everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones, pets, you have time to safely make one final dash. What item would you get?
After saving the cats and everything?
Cats, loved ones, everybody, everything that are valuable is safe. Then you can make one final dash to get one final item. Which one?
After
What
I
would you
saved
get?
the cats?
Yes.
Uh, my saints. My saints.
Okay. All right. And you were able to live to the age of 90 and then retain either the mind or a body of your 30-year-old self for the last 60 years of your life. Which one would you choose?
None. I'll be dead. I don't want to live that long. Put me
That
in
is
a
the first.
box. I'll be mad at the world if I'm living that long.
Until 90 though?
I don't want to live till 90 years old.
90 is like the new 70.
I'm done.
All right. Well, that's your answer. Last question. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Um. Ooh. Gosh, disappearing.
Disappearing. I'm mad she said at 90 I should be in a box. Whew, okay. Uh,
Put me in a box. Actually, don't put me in a box. Actually, just burn me. Just burn me.
I think that's the way we're all going. It doesn't make sense because if you think about it, because I was thinking like you think about like a century ago, where are those bodies in the cemetery? You just
Probably
buried on
floating
top of
around because of the
yeah.
flood and everything.
You just buried
No,
on
no,
top of
Anthony.
folks. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
just burn me. Make me into a tree. I don't know, a flower. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. All right. One last thing before we get out of here. We do a panel question where every one of us answers the question. So you can feel free to jump in. You're gonna be like our guest co-host. So the panel question, I'm literally just making this off the top of my head because I forgot to write it down in the rundown. So the panel question is WrestleMania is coming up. If you were able to be the booker for WrestleMania
Oh
and
Lord.
book one match and you are the booker, you're the Vince McMahon, like you have the creative control, and you could book one match for WrestleMania that you feel that the world needs to see, who would be? And it could be individual or tag team. Who would be in your match?
Bianca
and
Belair.
They don't have to. Okay.
Bianca Belair versus Naomi.
Okay, I'll go next.
That was my answer.
TK, you already know. I don't even know why you asked WWE related. Book it now, because this is the match that we were supposed to be having this year, besides a little stipulation. Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks. Hell in a Cell. Main event, night 1. Let's run it back and let Sasha get her revenge after all those years.
Yeah.
I like it.
You took my answer, Renee, and so I feel like just to put a little razzle dazzle, I would probably do a triple threat. And so you can get Bianca, you get Naomi, you get Sasha, and it doesn't even have to be like for a title. Let them just tear the house down. I feel like they're 3 very gifted women, and so we don't even need it to be for a title or anything. Let it just be one of those like right before the main event matches. Let them tear the house down. It can be either night. I feel like all 3 women are capable of doing that, and so that's what I would put definitely as like a match for me.
Oh, I like that. I didn't think of a triple threat.
I like that.
I like that.
I mean, that wasn't one of the rules, but this is just what happens with the panel questions. Everybody just kind of makes it into
hold on.
So,
okay.
I'm gonna make it to my own version too, so I'm not hating on nobody. What I would love to see is Naomi turn heel. She joins the Samoan dynasty, and she wrecks shop through the women's locker room. Like, y'all heifers have been disrespecting me for way too long.
Yes.
And it is now time for y'all to feel the wrath. And then she has a faction going. Like, that's what, bring back Nia Jax. Like, just her, Tamina, and Nia Jax just wreck through the locker room and call it a day. And,
I love
get
it.
that woman her title by SummerSlam. That's what I would love to see.
I love it. I mean, like, I absolutely love and adore Naomi. Like, she is such a legend in her own right. Like, there's like a little bit part of me feel like she doesn't get like the recognition, or even bring Foxy into the mix of it, like Foxy as well. But I kind of like, I love like the divas. Look at me. There you go. Like, so. I mean,
there's enough space for everybody, and I agree with you. They definitely don't give. I mean, that's a whole nother show in itself.
Yeah, that's a whole nother subject within itself.
Yeah, the respect, but that would be all of our choices. I like every last one of them. I knew Nickie were gonna go with Charlotte because that's just what it is. But with that being said, Renee, thank you so much for joining us. Where can everybody find you if they're not following you? Because let me tell you all before you give them your social. Please, if you're not following her, your social inspired me to go, because I've been meaning to go to the gym last 2 weeks. I've been working a lot, but I went on your social. I'm like, I need to do some squats or something sometime today. I need to fit it in while I'm doing something because you have inspired me. So where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter, which is one Renee Michelle, and you can find me on Instagram, which is Lady RM.
There it is. And Miss Nickie, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me at Nickie Booshie. That's Instagram, Twitter. I'm not going to give my disclaimer, but you already know.
Hey, Katrina, where can everybody find you?
I am pretty much everywhere. So just in Cat We Trust. If you're on Instagram, Twitter, just change the E to a 3.
Yes, and not on OnlyFans. Just
Yes, I feel like
I forgot about my OnlyFans. I need to get back into that.
I mean, I was watching the documentary, the OnlyFans. They be making bank. It had me thinking, like, do y'all want to hear me talk and read a book or something? Like
I kind of stopped doing it because I'm like, some of these fans are out of control. Like, I need to take a break.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine. It's crazy on that beast. However, when you guys can take a break from watching OnlyFans, you can go to www.talk.com to check out all our women's wrestling content. You go on our social media, www.talkpod, to check all that out. It is active. It is booming. We have a lot of live shows going on. We have an Impact live show. We have a fashion live show. We have SmackDown live show, Raw. We have news every week. We have a lot of shows going on. So definitely check that out. Like Nickie said at the top of the show, we are celebrating Women's History Month, so we have an article dropping every single day. So definitely check that out as well. You can go to www.talkpod.com for all that information, and you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Ciao.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.